need my face towards the sky. To you I will confess. Can you hear me? When I play.
Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Gomez Show. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Trey Garcia, singer for The Booked, Black Lung Conspiracy, and Stone Groove. How's it going today, Trey?
Hey, it's good, man.
Excellent, man. Thanks a lot for breaking away on our Kickback Friday. You know, do you have to work today?
Yeah, for a little bit, but I kind of kicked that early.
Good, man. I put in a full day over there. I'm still at the university, but glad to get out and get to business and have some fun catching up with you and kind of going over your history and seeing what makes you tick, brother.
All right.
All right. Well, you know, Trey, you and I have known each other for nearly about 30 years.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know, I was singing for Integrity. I believe you were singing for Stone Groove at the time, give or take,
Yeah.
same era. And, you know, since then, you got married, you've had kids, you kept singing in The Booked, and you got Black Lung Conspiracy going. And you even joined me in the Harbor City All-Stars doing our annual Tony's Twisted Christmas Spectacular. And we've done that for several years already. So you've always kept yourself busy. And, you know, how many kids do you have?
Man, I got 5.
5 kids, man. Amazing. Yeah. Yes. And is it 2 that serve in the armed forces?
Yep. My oldest was in the Army for 4 years. Well, he's still in the National Guard now, and he's also a police officer here in CCPD. And then my next oldest is in the Marines.
Awesome, man. Totally awesome. You and your wife have done some great parenting, and I'm so proud of them serving their country like that, man. I'm a patriot, and I'm just overjoyed, man. They're outstanding kids, man. You've done great. So very proud of you. I bet you had a good Father's Day.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Hell yes, man. Well, let me get started with some questions, man. I wanted to get started by asking you, what got you motivated to be a singer?
Man, I don't even know if I ever wanted to be a singer. I think
Really?
I wanted to be. Well, I mean, I like the singer aspect as far as being the guy with all the attention when I was younger, but I wanted to be a guitar player, you know, and I actually had got my first guitar with a little tiny, like a PV little amp, and I went to jam with these cats, and the lead guitar player was way better than I'll ever be, and he had a full stack. So me playing with a little PV little amp there wasn't going to cut it, and so they couldn't even hear me. And finally, one of the guys said, "Why don't you sing?" I said, "All right, I'll give it a shot." We rigged up some kind of microphone out of like headphones. It didn't work anymore. We started singing through the stereo.
Yeah.
Doing all Iron Maiden covers.
Holy smoke, man.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How old were you?
Like 15 probably.
15, man. On it. Awesome, man. Hell yeah. Did you have a band name?
No, you know, we never had a band name. And we just played a bunch of covers in the garage.
Yeah.
And we had one original, and then kind of just fizzled out after that. And I just kind of kept on going different directions.
Yeah. All right. Hey, check it out. We got Drastic Actions in the house, man. Are you
All right.
You're live, guys. That must be the Ustedes brothers. ¿Qué pasó?
Nice, man.
Hell yes. And you guys go eat at Chacho's, my favorite taco spot.
Yeah. I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Yes, hell yeah. I haven't been in weeks, man. I need to go. Ever since I moved from my old house out to where I'm at now, man, I just haven't got off my ass to make the trip. And
Yeah.
my diet.
Well, it's worth it.
And so back then you got started on guitar, moved to vocals on that. And was there like maybe a favorite singer that you were kind of looked at as like maybe a mentor, somebody you kind of wanted to model your vocals after?
Man.
Early on at 15, you know, at the beginning, like, oh yeah, if I could only sound like this cat, that'd be cool.
When I was 15, man, you're talking about, I was probably really into rap.
Okay.
Docking, you know?
Yeah, the 80s hair metal stuff. Yeah, dude, for sure.
The early days.
Uh-huh.
And then it moved on to the heavier stuff from there. But that's where, you know, I mean, that started at the beginning of my metal years, but me goes back further than that. You know, I
Okay.
think I was always into metal even before I ever heard metal because I used to be into Kiss before I heard their music.
What introduced you to heavy metal? Was it
Man,
family member or
no. Honestly, man, I'm the oldest of all the kids,
okay?
and you know, we moved out to Cal when I was young, so I didn't have anybody to introduce me to anything.
Okay.
Um, uh, when I was before we moved out to Cal, my best friend down the street was Shane from Splatterfest.
Oh,
Remember Shane Smith? So he was into Kiss, and he got me into Kiss, and I never even heard the music. I
okay.
just liked the way they looked, and I
Yeah.
would draw their pictures, and I was like 7, you know, and I put them on my wall. My dad would come tear them off. I draw another one and put it back, and we go on and on. But then I would go in the mall with my parents. They'd be eating like at Chick-fil-A, and then Greg's Record Factory used to be right next door. And
Yeah.
I'd go in there and look at all the album covers, and I'd see Iron Maiden and Van Halen and all this stuff. Oh man, I don't know what that is, but it's good. I'm sure.
It got you curious, man. You knew it was going to be good right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Craig's Record Factory, man. I love that. Oh, man. Old school days right there. Well,
Oh yeah.
so you played some guitar. Do you still play guitar? Are there any other instruments you play?
I play guitar and bass a little bit, but I don't really. I've never really done it on stage that much. Well, I played bass in a couple of bands, and but I usually just use it to write.
Yeah. Well, cool. Cool. All right. And, when you say write, is it easier for you to write lyrics to a song that's kind of already put together and arranged as a band? Or do you kind of write them on the spot as everybody's kind of coming together with their ideas?
Man, I've done it both ways, man, and I always wonder how does everybody else do it? You know, like because sometimes I feel like am I doing it backwards? You know, but I mean, we've had songs that were put together and done, and like we're going to the studio the next day, and I'm like, all right, I'm using that pressure to write the lyrics tonight, you know, and get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But then there's sometimes that I've sat down and written the whole song, music and words, all right in with an hour.
Yeah.
So it's, I've done them both ways, man. And these days, it's like someone will come up with a riff. Usually Brian, because it was the kind of riff, and we all arrange it together in the studio. And then I just kind of when they're playing it, I'm hearing some kind of melody, and
Yeah.
then some little word jumps out, and I just kind of build around that, and goes from there.
Yeah. Just kind of the magic starts taking off from right there. I get it.
Yeah.
And I kind of do the same thing, but primarily I kind of like to be a part of the music arrangements, the production, and getting it kind of put together from beginning to end. And in the meantime, I'm kind of ad-libbing vocals and just
Right.
paraphrasing a lot of things to kind of see how it fits, but also giving the guys an idea where verse one's going to be, where the chorus is going to be, et
Hmm.
cetera, et cetera. And I've had those times with Screwface where we're going to record and the lyrics aren't finished. Maybe I got 75 or 80%, but I hadn't just been totally confident on the last bit. But that pressure is what makes you come out with something that's definitely going to be a keeper. So I know exactly what you're talking about because sometimes we perform at our best when we're under pressure. It just comes out, and I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
So, what was the first concert you went to?
Man, well, you gotta understand, my parents were strict, man. I
Oh,
was not allowed to do anything. You
yeah,
know,
heading Cal
I
out,
think,
not too much.
yeah, living out there,
You have to get a ride into town to the concert, so you're
you
gonna need
know,
external
yeah,
support to make that happen.
yeah, for sure, man. The first concert I tried to go to
Okay.
was the DRI Middle Church and Anthrax one
Oh yeah.
here, and I told my parents that I was going downtown to see, I think I said Bon Jovi and White Snake or something. You know, I made up some bands that were kind of tame, and but they didn't fall for it. But I did get to go to the record bar and get my stuff signed when
Yeah.
the Metal Church was there and Anthrax was there. So I did get as far as that, but
Awesome.
I
Hell,
didn't make it to the show, man. And I had to get a buddy to get me some gear from there.
I
But the
get it.
first concert that I ever got to go to, ever, I was probably 16, and it was Metallica there with Queensryche there at the Coliseum.
Yeah,
That was the first real show.
that was it. They're Justice for All.
Yeah, it was, man, that's so awesome, man.
Awesome show. Awesome show. Oh yeah, man. You know, I love the show. I got to see all of Queensryche, and my girlfriend at the time happened to get backstage passes because we met Queensryche at Craig's earlier that day.
Oh yeah.
So I ain't gonna let her go back there by herself. So I ended up
Not in those days.
fuck that shit. And so I hung out back there for about half a Metallica set. I caught the second half, and the whole time I was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here. We're missing Metallica."
Yeah.
You know, that happens sometimes when you take your a spouse or a better half with you to a show.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That was a shit though, man. That was a kick-ass show. They had Lady Justice in the background.
It was, and it was back in the good old days when you had to work for your ticket spots. You know, you had to put in the work the night before or the weeks before. Spend all night out there waiting for the tickets to go on sale.
Yeah,
you know, and we did. We camped out all night.
That was fun, and that was part of the rock and roll experience. You know, already saying, "Hey, the tickets go on sale tomorrow. Hey, we're gonna crash out at Craig's Factory overnight."
We did too, man.
Yes, and we're gonna.
Or Dillard's, man. When they had it at, was it Dillard's or Ticketmaster was up there and would open the doors and all these metalheads be running through the halls.
They didn't know what they were getting into. Yeah. Those are some good times. Good times, man. So let me ask you this. You told me about the first band that got you started with guitar, and then you went to singing in there. But what was the actual first band that had a band name that you were in?
Well, the first band that ever had a real name was probably Brewish.
Brewish.
You remember Brewish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never seen y'all play before. To me, because I was always here on the South Side, to me, like almost like an infamous band that I always heard about, and that was badass, but I just never got a chance to experience it. Who was in the band? Was it Mark on bass?
Well, it was Mark Salas on bass, Dillo on guitar, Ray Gonzalez on guitar, and Alonso on drums. And I had some buddies of mine had a Rush tribute band that they played in at the time, and we were actually supposed to go see Entombed and Dead Horse in San Antonio, and then my buddy said, "Man, I can't go because we got this gig," and I was like, "Well, I'll just go with y'all." So I said, "All right." And they were playing at Desperados over there on Port, and they were playing with this band Brewish, and so I was there, kind of bummed, but sitting in the front, and Brewish came out, and Angel was singing for him. You remember Angel? You know Angel, and he was singing, and man, I was like the whole time I was just getting into it. Man, this guy's a badass man. Yeah. And at the end of the night, they wanted to play Metallica cover. I think it was Four Horsemen, and they kind of bickered about it. Angel was like, "I don't want to sing it. I don't want to sing it," and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. We want to do it," and back and forth. And so they started doing it anyway, and I think he got mad. So they started playing, and I guess he noticed that I was getting into the show. So he goes over to the table and he puts the mic down and goes, "Here, you sing it."
No shit.
Yeah. I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So hell yeah. So I get up there and I start singing it, and the guys are going like, "Oh yeah," you know. So we finished that song. And I was like, "Oh wow, that was cool." And then let's do another one. They started singing the story. I was, "All right, well, I know that one too," you know. And so we did that one. And afterwards, we're like, "Hey, you want to be in the band?"
Perfect timing, right?
That was it, man. That was the beginning of everything. Well, maybe everything was downhill from there. I don't know.
No, it was badass, man. Talk about timing. I never knew that story.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, man. So, are you and Angel still cool after all these?
Oh yeah. Okay. I love Angel, man.
Well, that's just really at the grassroots of the metal scene here, dude. That Let me ask you this: did Dill already have Annihilator going on the side?
I think he was done with that at the time. I think he was just doing Brewish.
Okay, by that time. Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to think of that timeline in there.
It was probably 92.
Okay. Natalie
So,
Jewish.
yeah,
And how long did that last for you?
man, it lasted a good. I mean, I guess 2 years maybe before Al left, and then we got Ben Montes for a while, and even TK tried out for a little bit, and
Okay.
then Ben was jamming with us, and then Sal Mark left, and then we were like, man, it's not really Brewish anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of different, and that's how we came up with the name Stone Groove, and then
Oh,
that's just started from there.
okay. And then who filled in the blanks on Stone Groove? You,
So then Ben Montez
Jesse?
was there at first, and it was just Ben, me, Ray, and Sal. And then when they left, we got Joe and Jesse from Last Ride came
Okay.
in. El Ross came in for a while, and Joe left pretty quickly after that. I think he played a few shows with us, but he left. And then that's when Mark left, and then
Okay.
seven more came in on bass, and so it was just us four: me, Jesse, Seven, and Ray. And that was it, man. That was the power combo right there.
That our combo right there. Oh shit.
Seven, man, rest in peace, brother. But that's the only bass player I've ever played with that completely changed the band.
Yeah.
Like when I showed up to practice that day, I didn't know who this dude was that was going to be trying out, but they were already jamming. And I got out of the car and I could tell already that something was different.
Yeah.
And that made Stone Groove into the band that it ended up being.
Wow, dude. Yeah, when you get that heavy bottom man and a bass player that knows how to do it, oh yes, then everything starts
Yeah.
filling in the gaps.
Oh
Definitely
yeah.
what you mean. Okay, so that ended up going into Stone Groove, and y'all were doing some great shows, man. Because I think
Oh man.
it
Yeah.
was taking off from the momentum that you guys were already creating in Brewish, and then that came up, and hell, I want to say, um, man, there were some fucking big shows that you guys played, local shows that
Dude.
put together.
Local shows, man, with you guys in the wrong crowd,
Yeah,
and that was back in the days when everyone played together.
yeah.
Be it the
Whatever.
Crayons, Integrity, Stone Groove, wrong crowd, all together.
Yeah,
And then the same bands that played the weekend before, they play the next weekend too, and still get 300 kids.
and still,
You know?
exactly. We were hungry, man. We were hungry, and there was
Yeah.
a that wanted it as well.
It used to
And
take an hour just to say hi to everybody when you went to EJ's, just to get in the door and say hi to everybody. It take you an hour to get around there.
good old days, man. I tell
Yeah.
you, so much community, and such a great, so much support from all our friends.
Yeah, it was. It was a
They came
different
out.
scene.
There's so many. There was only a handful of us that really knew how to play instruments, but there was an army of us that loved fucking heavy metal, and
Oh
so
yeah.
when we started getting our bands together, luckily we had all of us were kind of blessed with a good crowd that would always come and back us up, and it would just kept growing. They would tell their friends, and they'd bring more people with them, and it just kept the scene growing. Great
Yeah,
time.
and so much camaraderie back then. Bands were all friends with each other.
Yeah,
Oh, it was good
yeah.
times.
Kind of like a golden age,
Yeah,
of some, metal years back over here.
for sure.
And so Stone Groove, what ended up? Why did y'all break up, or why did they? What happened to Stone Groove from continuing?
Man, we got I'll be Colorado with Sufferance and Apparition,
Okay,
and right before we left, I want to say like maybe a week before we left, Seven he'd gotten involved with this girl, and we asked him like, "Hey, you're kind of acting weird. Are you gonna make it?" "Oh yeah, I'm down." And then he comes one day practice. Just I'm getting my stuff. I'm leaving. So he
oh,
quit,
oh,
and we got Brian Canales to fill in,
yeah,
and so he did the tour with us, and
oh,
he was great. But it
yeah,
was just not everything was just the vibe was different, And I guess we were all we're kind of going off in our own directions, and I was getting more into punk rock, and I really wanted to play, and I had done some side things before, and I felt like it kind of rubbed them the wrong way. Like I used to sing for like I'd guest vocal for Black Milk a lot, and I
okay.
felt like they didn't like that a lot because I wanted to be kind of different. I was getting into a different scene on the side,
Want to be
and
that? Yeah,
So it kind of just fell apart. You know, we played our last show. We didn't even know it was our last show. It just
Damn,
ended up being the last show.
that last show, to be able to go out with a bang, but yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of happens like that. I know what you mean. Geez, I get it, man. It happens, and I can admire the fact that you wanted to do more, and you're jamming with some other guys to do a little something different vocally, and it's fulfilling. Hell yes,
Oh yeah.
I definitely know where you're coming from, and I feed off of that stuff too. So with that happening, still doing some jams with Black Milk. You went ahead and moved forward and started getting some guys together from the booked, or
No, that actually now my brother and his buddy Joey had started jamming in my garage, and they were playing a lot of Green Day covers and Bad Religion, and
yeah,
that was kind of what I was in at the time. I was into that stuff, and well, Joey, he really got ahead of himself, and he said, "I've got shows booked," and Brian's like, "We don't even have a band." Like he was playing the drums with his band at the time, and
uh,
he called it Blind Rays, and so they got, I think, Drop In Club or something had set up something for them, and I was like, you know what, fine, I'll play bass. I'll play the bass and you can do your gigs, and that turned into to Pillowhead.
go ahead.
Dave Pena came in on drums and Brian moved to guitar. I stayed on bass, and
Oh,
Joey was doing vocals. So it was kind of like a pop punk thing, and
okay.
I just really enjoyed it because it's funny because I told him from the beginning, I was like, look, I'm the bass player. That's it. I'm gonna stand at the back and I'm gonna play the bass. I'm not the front man. I don't talk.
Yeah,
And
you
then the first show, uh, we finished the first song, and I'm back there with the drummer, and like, okay, well, next song is this, and I turn around, and Joey's right there with us. And I was like, hey, dude, go talk to the crowd. You gotta
yeah.
go say something. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to say. And I was like, so here I am going and talking again on the mic. And I said,
Yeah.
that wasn't the deal. But it ended up being a good thing. And it ended up being, we did it for like, wait, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, 7, 8
Yeah.
years. Go ahead, 7, 8 years.
Yeah. So we did it for a while. It kind of tailed off right when the book was starting up.
Oh,
So,
oh, wow. Okay. And so, well, how was the book created? How was it formed?
man, Pillowhead was kind of falling apart.
Uh,
And I still wanted to do something. And I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something kind of different. And I was really transitioning. I was getting heavy into the oi scene and the hardcore scene, and so I started writing songs in that vein, and they were coming out all right. And I said, well, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own band instead of joining the band and everything. I'm just gonna make my own band. And
yeah.
I got Brian and Ray was our roommate at the time, and I said, guess what? You're it. You're the second guitar player.
Yeah.
And then we knew Danny from living in Cal, and he played the special guests, and he was a good drummer. So we tagged him, and
Okay.
then we had a couple of bass players that were just kind of filling in the slots until we got our first legit bass player. But
Okay.
uh, it kind of was just a bunch of Cal guys coming together and making
Uh,
our own thing.
yeah, just loving that kind of music and showing the love for it, man. Hell yes. And so your first release came out 1999, Feel the Pride.
Yeah,
Was that with the original lineup with the guys you just mentioned?
that was with all the original guys except for the bass player. We'd gone through probably three bass players by then, and we
Right.
found Randy, and he settled in great, and we'd known him forever. We were all like friends,
Yeah.
and and so it was really easy to get together and jam and go on tour together. And
Awesome.
so we ended up doing the thing that we did back then, where you go to Kinko's and you put your demos together,
Uh,
and we would just go send cassettes out everywhere to every label, even ones we knew were going to tell us no. We'd
yeah.
send them out everywhere. We
Anyway,
would drive to Austin just to see a show, just to hand out cassettes.
hell yes. That's the way. Yeah, that's the kind of grassroots, and that's the kind of drive that that you guys were so hungry. And I remember doing that with Integrity too. I spent, oh man, hours on hundreds, at least hundreds of hours at Kiko's or even Office Depot making flyers for Integrity back in the day, or Fractured Minority, and making the little cassette inlays and typing out the lyrics and all that good
Yeah.
stuff, doing it yourself. And it's what it took. It's definitely what it took, but it also showed what you're made of, because if you didn't do it, it wasn't going to happen. And if you're proud of your shit, then that's what you had to be done.
Yeah, we did it. We definitely did it back then. It was
Yeah.
no make a YouTube video and then get signed or nothing like that.
I know, right? Yeah. Some of us don't get quite so lucky, that's
No.
there, but you got to have a luck. You need a break in this world, in the music business to get that kind of attention, to get that nationwide
Mhm.
explosion, or to go viral, for instance, so.
Oh yeah, and back then my only goal was just to be on a compilation. Just let's get something on a compilation, and I'll feel like we did something.
Yes, hell yeah. I definitely get it, bro. It's the first time I recorded was with Integrity, and I think that was back in I want to say, no, I recorded with Malignancy, and that was in 89, in 80, no,
Oh
90.
yeah.
It was in 90. And that was my first experience, but a good time. But when I listen to it now, I'm like, oh man, I sound horrible. It's funny at the moment, you're thinking to yourself, hey, I sound pretty good. Hell yeah. Or
Yeah,
go to the next,
I hear a lot of things
what I mean?
that could do different now.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. So we expect more out of ourselves now, man. But we've been doing
Yeah.
it so long, and that's why we know what we're capable of. So Feel the Pride, you went and did some touring, and then you got
Mhm.
ready for On the Attack that just came out on 2012. So you
Yeah.
had a big break in there, dude.
Yeah, that was a big break.
Was everybody may have their families?
Yeah, things were changing. We did that first tour. and We got lucky. We got signed. They're like, "You can come tour with this band Road Rage from England, and then that'll bring you to New York, and you'll record up here." And
Wow.
then so that tour and like that, we didn't have any merch or anything. It took a lot out of us. That was all self-funded, And but we got up there and got to record an album in New York, and we stayed in New York for almost a month, I feel like.
And
And
was the On the Attack that you recorded up there?
no, it was the first one. That was the first one we did up there. Feel the
Wow.
Pride.
What
We recorded
studio,
it with Don
dude?
Fury, the guy that did Agnostic Front, early Gorilla Biscuits, and all that, and Think of
Fucking
It All.
that is
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it was a legit studio. Like you walk in Manhattan, and then you open the doors to like the basement, then there's the sidewalk, and you just walk down there, and there's a studio
Yeah.
down there. It was so awesome to see all the pictures of the bands he recorded. It was
Yeah.
great.
That is so awesome, man. Yeah.
But
I'm so
we
envious,
came
man.
back from that, and we were broke.
Holy
So
smoke. So, that's a starving musician, whatever it takes. That's
yeah.
what it takes, man. All that grind.
Oh yeah. And actually, like I said, we were broke, and I came back, and I had to get a job
Yeah.
because I left my job to go tour. So I came back and I got a job, and I swear I only had that. I got a job at Best Buy, and I think I had it for 1 or 2 days. And I'm at the mall, and I had a pager back then, and I got a page from our record label, Radical Records, and so I called the guy back, and he said, "Hey, so Ducky Boys just dropped off the tour with Total Chaos and Blank 77 and LES Stitches. Can you guys take the spot and be in Denver in 2 days?" I was like, "I just got a job."
Shit.
So
Yeah.
I went to my boss and I told him, I said, exactly, I said, "Hey, this is what happened." And he said, "You know what? Since that's what you're doing, I'm going to let you go.
Wow.
I'm going to let you go and call me when you're back." And we were gone for a month.
Hey, very fucking cool boss.
Yeah, and I was surprised, man.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Dude, that's a badass tour right
So,
there.
yeah, we did that. And that's probably the only tour we actually got paid.
Wow. Bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the way to go, man. Because I was thinking even back then, you jumping on the tour, it's still, selling your merch. I assume that'd probably be all you're doing yeah, as far as receiving any kind of funds, but they took care of you too. That's
Well, it might have been that way, but the way it worked out was we just fell into every guarantee that the Ducky Boys already had. We just got
oh
everything they were supposed to get.
yeah.
So it worked out. We started in Denver, went all the way to Philadelphia, and then we drove home.
Doing this thing nationwide, dude. And
Yeah.
so you were what, in your 20s right then?
Oh yeah, that's probably like 26, maybe.
26
Yeah, I was young back then.
by then?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a lot older now.
Yeah. But did you already have your oldest son by then?
Oh, by then, no. I think he came along right when we got back from that. That was a winter tour. He was
Uh-huh.
born in April, so it was right before.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's because I was wondering, man, to be gone for a month, isn't easy for dad.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a lot
tough.
of responsibility, a lot of bills to be paid, man. So the timing, I was wondering how that timeline finished out, man. Way to go.
Yeah, I couldn't do it now. I don't think, and especially not with the way the music industry is. You
Right.
know,
I definitely,
one-off shows are better.
no shit, dude. Big time. So I love that song, Harbor City Rock and Roll, man. That's such a catchy jam, dude. That came out on the Attack. That's a hit. I remember hearing that a lot on local licks.
Oh yeah,
Um, um, I got to probably Monty Montana was probably playing.
yep. Man, he was a big supporter of the band.
He sure was, dude.
Yeah,
And that Sunday nights, man. Every
yeah.
so often he'd play Integrity. He was playing. We hear everybody on there, man. Sufferance. Uh,
Hmm.
shoot, you name it. Everybody was getting some airtime, and more power to everybody around here for that. And thanks, Monty. Shout out to Monty Montana, man.
Oh yeah, man. And he was always so good about it, messaging you saying, "Hey, I'm going to play you, on this thing, so you could send it out on Facebook or whatever."
Yeah, very cool, man. Super, super guy, man. So that came out in 2012. You let that work for a little while. Did you do any touring on that one? On the
Man, we didn't really do a lot of touring. We did some like Texas tours with
Yeah.
Forced Reality and a couple other bands, but that's about it.
How much had the band changed from Feel the Pride and On the Attack? Was it just the bass player?
Yeah, really. We've all.
Cool.
I mean, we've had some things like Ray took a break for a while, and we had some fill-ins. I think Mikey filled in for a little while, and Ray came back. And it's funny because I feel like the bass is where we've had the most movement in the band. After the Field of Pride came out, then Randy left, and we got Javier Verduzco on bass, and he stayed with us for a long time. He did the On the Attack album,
Yeah.
and then when he stepped aside, we had Guido for a little while, and he did a good run with us. We even had Glenn from Drastic Actions right now. I know Arnulfo and Mike are laughing right now when they hear me think about Glenn, but it worked out,
Yeah, it worked out.
and then now we got Jared, and Jared's man, he's great.
Yeah.
I love him.
So Tradition Never Dies hits in 2016. That was with Jared recording with you guys.
Yep.
Nice, man. And so today, is it still the same lineup?
It is. It's still the same lineup. We
Yeah.
just haven't done a lot, man. I feel like when COVID came around and everyone got so scared, man, it just took a lot out of us, man.
Yep.
And we haven't recovered from that. I feel like, man, we're gonna do a show in July finally, and we haven't done a show in like 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah,
So July, who's going to be on the bill?
it's gonna be in San Antonio with the Anti-Heroes. It's gonna be the return of the Anti-Heroes.
Dude, that's
So,
gonna be huge. Hell yeah.
yeah.
That's going to be a big
So
there.
if it makes it as far as Anti-Heroes playing, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to play because we're probably pretty far down the line. But it's one of those shows that could be a great time or a riot.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes, exactly. And, is it by chance going to be a Boozers?
No, it's gonna be in San Antonio.
Oh, in San
It's gonna
Antonio.
be a San Antonio show.
Okay.
Yeah, got to make a road trip for that one.
That's going to be awesome, man. Hell yeah. What a great fucking comeback right there. Love that. So tradition never dies. You got anything else in the works? New material that is maybe ready to go into work with
We're working on a few tunes, but we want to put something out. I think these days it's better just to put a song at a time or singles
Sure.
out that, you know, I mean,
Yeah, don't hold out for a whole album. I don't feel like
yeah, I mean, it's not the way it works anymore.
drop an EP,
So,
drop singles, keep people hungry. You know, have something.
yeah,
You know, every 6 weeks or 2 months,
yeah,
and
that's what I think too.
I dig
And
it.
I've got some projects that I'd like to, you know, I like to mess around with some other stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it. You know, like I'd like to do, you know, kind of like what you do with Fistful of Metal. You know, like this some deep cuts. You know, some thrash deep cuts. You know, and like some more Flotsam and Jetsam and Overkill. You know, and do a
Yeah,
project kind of like that. But then I
yeah,
want to do a country project too one of these days. You know,
right. I love it, dude. I
so
love
who
it.
knows?
You find yourself singing a lot of country songs sometimes when you're at work.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up on country music, and
Uh,
I've always had it playing in the background. I mean, if you ask any of the guys in the band, the soundtrack to our tour is Merle Haggard, you
yeah,
know, and Alabama and all any kind of '80s country. That's all I
uh,
listened to. They wanted to switch out driving because when I drive, I control the radio, and it was all country.
you know, of course, I've grown up listening to the commercial country that's always been around. You know, I know the old schoolers, Hank Williams Jr., Conway Twitty,
Yeah,
Trey, to name a few. But I went to work, I guess about 10, 11 years ago with a guy named Landon Gill, and he was definitely into big country. So we learned country all the time, and I didn't care just so long as we heard a radio. Yeah, that's cool.
right.
And so, man, being around it, I started liking a lot of it, dude. So it is what it is, and a good song is a good song,
Yeah,
and they
when
are
it's good, it's good.
there are so many damn good ones. And so there's a special spot in my heart for country, and I think it's part of me being a Texas guy. And
Yeah,
we love being out in the country. We love our wives, our family, and
hmm
that's kind of what you're getting out of country music.
oh for sure.
And yeah, I dig it. I dig it. So um, to all my listeners, have an open art, you know, and check out some country. You'd be surprised. All right, it doesn't always have to be metal, but keep it mostly metal. No.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys live the same kind of lives as these
That's
metal
right.
guys.
You
You
know,
know,
all these different genres have really shaped our ears and shaped our sound. And I really believe, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. I still love going to quinceañeras and having about 4 or 5 beers and getting out there and dancing with my wife to old '70s R&B
yeah,
because it feels right. And after about 6 or 7 beers, hey, it feels pretty damn good. You know,
yeah. But
anything.
I think that's what makes Texas music different because even the guys that say they hate country, but they've known it all their lives, and
Yeah,
it's still in there. I feel like that's what made Pantera different. You
yeah,
know, I mean, because they are still into Van Halen and all the metal, but they had some Texas roots, and part of that is country music.
that's
You
right.
know, and
Absolutely.
they sound different than anybody.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. It's all of this stuff just makes us who we are, and I'm proud of all
Yeah,
that. So
that's right.
the book's alive and kicking. You got the show coming up in July. That's going to be in San Antonio. Any other plans after that?
I hope so.
Good,
Nothing's in concrete. We definitely want to keep going.
killer. Good, good. Well, let me ask you this. On a different subject, I mean, I like to talk about a little bit of everything. So, is there a favorite movie that you got or an actor that you like to watch all the time?
Now I don't know if it qualifies as a movie because it was probably a miniseries, but
Okay.
I would say Lonesome Dove. You
Lonesome
know,
Dove. No
I
shit.
love that. And I can watch that over and over and over.
Wow. Yeah, I've only heard of it, and when I'm thinking of it, it's like a legend. There's Lonesome Dove 1 and Lonesome Dove 2, right?
Yeah, there's some sequels, but the first one is with Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Those are two badass actors right there.
You
Yeah.
know, so I would say either that or something like Tombstone. You know, those movies. I
Woo!
love those. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Tombstone. And I love it. That's a bad.
hmm
All those guys kick ass. Hell yeah. Love me some Sam Elliott, dude. I just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Every movie he's done is great.
yes, dude. And well, let me ask you this: are you into horror movies?
Man, I know a bunch of them, but I haven't really. I mean, I'm not an expert on them.
I get it, and nowadays there's too many freaking choices on TV, man. I'll surf for
Yeah.
like 15, 20 minutes before I decide on what the hell I want to watch, from a horror to a comedy to an action, and that's because I canceled cable because I'm trying to, mainstream a little bit and save some money, but still, I
Yeah.
can't mind. But you probably heard that I'm always I've been participating in the rock and roll flea market, and
Yeah.
a lot of collectibles that I'm trying to unfortunately make some room for more other collectibles. So I'm
Yeah.
things out. Are there any things that you like to collect? Any vinyls or souvenirs?
And I love to collect vinyl, and
Okay.
I like to collect old flyers, but
Yeah.
local flyers mostly.
Uh-huh.
And I try to save all of them. I got a bin full of old flyers and posters.
Yeah. I would like to see that, dude. Wow, man. I can imagine all the old Corpus Christi local show flyers, right? That you guys were playing.
Yeah, I've got some, hypnotic state, and even like aggressor. You
Yeah.
know, and I
Interesting.
even had the fracture minority flyer, the
Oh, shit.
original. It was given to me in high school. Down some guy in the hallways. They're here. It's a show with brutal poverty and fracture minority.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I remember
for the
that.
two fingers.
That's right. Yes, man. Good times, man.
uh,
Chris and Ray from Fracture Minority, man. And shout out to the guys from Brutal Poverty, man. Oh,
oh yeah,
man, from
good
back
guys.
dude, those shows were always infamous. It was shit was gonna go down, but it was kind of funny. Like I was telling somebody at work, is like, you know what? Back in the day when there were fights, people would throw down, but the next day or the day after, those two became like best of friends. You know,
Yep.
it just kind of happened. Every so often you bet head to somebody that might be just a little bit too much like you, and then after you do your little tango and get over it, it's like, hey man, you're cool, and it's like likewise. And nowadays, it's not as easy as that.
No, not anymore.
I'm telling you, man, it's a different age, man. It's it kind of reminds me of that movie, The Wanderers. Remember that movie, The Wanderers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right? That rumble they had at the end in the
hmm
football field. Oh shit. Good times, man. Good times, brother. Well, talking about collecting things, and is there any hobbies that you like to, take part in?
Man, my biggest hobby is going to shows, man. I
Uh,
like to go to shows, and
yeah,
I used to skate when I was younger all the time, but I'm too old for that now.
yeah. Did your kids skate?
My oldest one skated, and he was really good,
Yeah,
but now he says he doesn't have time for it anymore.
I
But
get.
but
It.
yeah, he did. The other ones, they're more into games, video games, and you know how this generation is.
Of course, man. I've got my son's definitely big time into video games, and I bought all kinds of different musical equipment to see if maybe he'd get into it. And
hmm
as of now, not yet. But things change real quick. You never
Oh
know.
yeah,
Kids will get influenced by seeing somebody, and the next thing you know, it's like, you know what? Hey, I want to do that too. So I got bass, I got PA, I got guitars, I got keyboards. I just don't have a drum set. I used to.
yeah.
I used to have a drum set, but I lent it to a friend. I never got it all back. Guy ended up smoking crack and stole my drum.
Oh God.
But a bitch, god damn. Yeah, my guitar player Eddie Dominguez. Shout out to Eddie from
Oh
Integrity.
yeah, Eddie.
I'm gonna leave the guy's name out of it, but he was like, "Hey, let so and so borrow your drum sets because maybe he'll start a side project and we'll jam with him." I said,
Uh,
maybe I'll charge him rent. He goes, yeah, charge him rent. I said, all right. So I did that for a month. And after that, I couldn't find him for 2 months to 3 months to 4 months. And I was just knocking at his door, his brother's door. And his brother's like, hey, bro, I'm sorry to tell you this, but he's on crack now and the drum set's gone. I was like, oh, shit. There goes my fucking Tama rock star, Charlie Benante model fucking
Damn.
drum set. Oh, dude. Yeah, there was a drum set that Fidel used to use back in September.
Okay.
Yeah, his big double bass with the cage.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then Fidel bought his own set. And so he was using his. And then I had mine. And that's why Eddie goes, hey, why don't you let so-and-so borrow it? Oh, okay. Fucking big mistake.
Dang.
Oh, man.
Hey, shout out to Fidel too. One of the best drummers I ever played with.
Fidel, man. Love Fidel, man. Golly, such great people, man. I got to jam with him for 20 years. 10 years.
Yeah.
Integrity and 10 and Killamora. And man, now he's jamming with us in the Harbor City All-Stars. So
Oh, I love it.
all is good. All is good, man. And I've got us a date, a matter of fact. I already talked to Casey. We got Saturday, December 23rd at the House of Rock again.
Nice.
All right. So can I count on you?
Yeah, always.
Always. Awesome, man. All right. Well, I want to get to a segment that I always want to put in with my interviewees, and it's called Draw the Line. All right.
All right.
So pick your brain and see where you're at. See what you prefer out of a couple of different bands, maybe artists. And I try and make it a little difficult for you just so it's not so easy to pick out what you like out of here. So I kind of did some research. So I may not be as familiar as these bands as you are, but I'm pretty good at getting some of these combos together. So let's see. This first one has us matching up the Agitators versus Stars and Stripes.
Oh, I think I'll have to go Stars and Stripes because that just had a bigger influence on us. Like when the boot was starting out, that was like on the CD player all the time. And I just have good memories of that, There's a lot of inspiration with that.
I get it, man. See? And what I notice is sometimes as we go to these questions, so many of the decisions, the choices you make are all kind of driven by our childhood and things.
Yeah.
I love this, but I love that. But you know what? This was always here. And as much as I know that guy's badass, I still going with this one. So
yeah, for sure.
So let me hit you with the next one. One of my favorite. Hey, Papa. I'm hanging out with us for a little bit, so he's peeking in. So my next combo has us matching up The Business versus Murphy's Law.
Ooh. Both of them, I would say, are essential. But as far as the impact on me, I'm going to say The Business.
Okay. You guys play with those guys?
Yeah, we played with them a few times.
Yeah.
And they were legends to us. And to be able to play with them, I was starstruck.
Good. They're fucking good. Man, way to go. That's a great gig right there. Okay, so The Business it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I grew up loving that original Murphy's Law. That first one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sit Home and Rot, California Pipeline, Care Bear. So I really love Murphy's Law.
I think I would have said that, but if The Business didn't have such an effect on forming the band and who we are as a band, I think then I have to go that way.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Definitely, you're vested in those guys, man. Well, how about these guys? Who do you prefer out of Agnostic Front versus Madball?
Man, those are both intense bands, right. But I have to go with the originals, man. I have to go with Agnostic Front.
Ooh.
I've got to go with them because it's just. I mean, I was listening to them since I was a kid, and
fathers, man. Yes,
there would be a Madball without Agnostic Front.
And the thing I like about Agnostic, it's kind of like Suicidal. They keep changing it. They're not making the same kind of record. They're still gonna they're gonna keep it all about family, all about friends, but they always keep it interesting. And live is where I think Agnostic Front is always infamous for being such a badass band.
Oh yeah,
they got the charisma.
They really are.
And Stigma is just he's another Roger. You know what I mean? He's such a big name of Agnostic Front as well. Those two are just New York, godfathers, and they've always had the best players around it, man. Whether it's one voice, whether it was them starting out and Cause for Alarm, fucking brutal. And so it's not my choice, but I'd have to go Agnostic Front too. Hell yeah. A few times, I hope.
Yeah, I've seen them. We played with them a few times. I've seen them a lot of times.
Yeah. Yes, brother. I'm trying to think. One of my favorite shows that I did see Agnostic on was a show that they did with Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. It was in San Antonio, and they really mixed it up. And, man, I love that shirt that I got from that show because Agnostic had the flames going down the sleeve. It looked tight, dude. I still have it, and it just
was that in the 90s?
Huh?
Was that back in the 90s?
Yeah, it was definitely in the 90s.
I feel like long sleeve shirts were the thing back in the '90s.
That's
Metal
right.
shows and stuff. Like
Oh
I've
yeah,
got a ton of those, like Sepultura and Carcass. You
yeah,
know, all the long
yeah.
sleeve.
About the long sleeve shirts, dude, big time. And we wanted something on the sleeves.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let's get these next two bands. Who do you choose out of DRI versus SOD?
Man, I'm gonna say DRI
Yeah.
because DRI was essential to my formation, my coming up.
Yeah.
Like when I heard dealing with it, I feel like that's one of the albums where I can say I put it on and things changed. Like
Yeah.
my whole outlook changed. Like you can literally see like in eighth grade
Uh-huh.
when I started school that year. That was before I'd heard of DRI or anything like Slayer and like that. And so my school pictures were taken in September. And so you see my picture, and no, I'm wearing one of those Alex Keaton family ties, square ties, and a button-up shirt. And by May, my jeans had holes in them, and I was wearing skater shirts, and I didn't care about my grades were crap. You know, everything changed.
Yeah. Right. Hell yes. Your whole outlook changes. Like, you know what?
Yes.
I know what you mean, man. Before you know it, I went from buying OP shirts to just going and shopping at a record bar and
Right.
buying, whatever they had, Anthrax, Dio, Iron Maiden.
Hmm.
That's when my mom was like, "So what do you want for school this year? We're gonna go buy you some new clothes." Okay, well, I'll take some Levi's and we'll just go to record bar and we'll buy, Iron Maiden shirts and stuff. She goes, Iron Maiden shirts? I thought I was gonna buy some maybe some OPs. I'll take you to Benjamin's or something. Nah, just give me some Iron Maiden shirts. I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And being from Cal, dude, that was hard to pull off, man. You know, and then I was in ag and FFA and all that stuff, but yet I was, wearing big old tall boots and these DRI shirts and minor threat shirts to school, and but
Yeah.
everybody was cool. They used to come to me and hey, did you go slam dancing last night? And I'm like, hey, actually, I did. I'm kind of sore.
They knew you were the rocker, man. You were going
Yeah, man.
around shows and shit, right?
It
Very.
was hard being from Callan like that. It was a different place. CCISD, I feel like everybody was cool with it, but Callan was a different story.
Hey, I know what you mean. So how about these two bands? You just mentioned one, Minor Threat. So I got Minor Threat versus Bad Brains.
Oh, man.
I'm glad I'm getting you. I wanted to stump you on something eventually.
Mm. Man, Minor Threat is who I first heard, but I'm going to say I'm going to have to probably go with Bad Brains for what gets me, man,
Okay.
and like how I feel,
Yeah,
I love Bad Brains.
dude, I know exactly what you
The
mean.
energy. I mean, the energy is there in Minor Threat too, but something about the way HR, his delivery, and his passion, you
Yeah,
know,
that's a hard one right there, man. I
it
love
is, dude.
it, and I love the ferocity that Minor Threat played. When you see those live videos of them playing, man, it's just you could see it almost looked like a thrash band because they were fucking
Yeah.
fast. The guitar, the drums, everything was very, very quick, very fast. And but then you talk about the personality and the musicianship that the Bad Brains had, man. I think
Hmm.
as each album, I fall back on Quickness. I think Quickness was like kind of like maybe their peak, but
Yeah.
my favorite is Eye Against Eye. Um,
Yes. Me
every-
too, man.
from top to bottom, and it's only got like maybe 8 tracks. It's not like stacked with like 12 tracks, but each one is a banger. It's a keeper.
That was my introduction to Bad Brains. You
Yeah.
know, like
Was it
I
like
was a
like
total metalhead in high school, really. And then we had an exchange student from Germany that stayed with us, and he just turned me on to so much cool punk
what?
rock, and that just changed everything for me, man. He's like, "You never heard Bad Brains?"
Yeah.
So he went and bought a cassette over that record bar,
Yeah.
and we jammed to it.
Hell yeah. The original, man. And it's got like Sailing On there, and I love Sailing On. That's a fucking bad jam. And
Hmm.
Right Brigade maybe will be on that one.
Yeah.
right. God, each one's it just got that real hardcore punk feel. That
And then they go right from that into a reggae jam.
right,
You
reggae jam, and it's fucking super badass. Super,
Yeah.
I I had to get the HR solo record. It's called Human Rights, and
Yes.
there was a lot. There was a lot of. It was pretty much all reggae. I was hoping there was
Hmm.
a little bit more rock in there, like the Bad Brains, but it was all reggae. But it was all right, man, because it
Yeah.
just HR was. He's just got one of the best voices out there in our music and our genres. And it
That's
was
for sure.
when we saw him. I'm sure you were there at Gators, right? When they came to town.
When he just stood there.
Yeah, man, the rough. That was probably one of my least favorite shows. At
Yeah, I was so bummed, man. I was ready to see HR in action, man, and it didn't happen.
the music was great, the band was great, but you're right, we were missing the feel, the soul. He just
Yeah.
it
The
was
only
really
thing that saved it for me was that we had just seen the Drastic Actions return before that, so I was pumped up.
they
You
were
know,
that night.
that
Yeah, they had
if
a
they hadn't played like they did, I would just have been a bummer of a show.
I left a little early, man. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a hard one to swallow. But much respect to HR, definitely an influence of mine, and definitely a track that I've always wanted to cover in one of my cover bands was "I Against I." You
Yeah,
know,
you ought to.
but just like you mentioned, hey, I'd like the idea of doing covers, and if you move forward with that idea, the struggle is finding guys that want to do the same songs that you want to do. You know,
Yes.
when we know them, we feel like, hey, these are going to be hits. Trust me, boom, boom, boom. These are the songs I sound best on too. Let's do it. Let's rock. But man, having the guy, it's different. Original bands, the guys are bought in. Hey, it's my stuff. We're learning
Yeah.
it. But covers, it's been a challenge, bro. It's been a
Well,
challenge.
that happens with the book too. The guy's like, "What? You want to do another cover?" and I have to sell them on it, man. And
Yeah, you just
sometimes it works, and I'm like, "You see?" And then sometimes it doesn't go over, and then they're like, "Yeah, see you and your covers."
I see.
I'm sure Danny Choppa will tell you about me and my covers.
I'm like that too. Even in Kill 'Em More, I was like, hey, we need to at least have one cover. So even if people are seeing this for the first time, they can know that one, and we'll fucking buy them in, and they'll be here.
Right.
And we'll reel them all in. Finally,
Yeah.
one cover song. And I was telling Angel of Death, Lay to
Yeah.
Rest, destroy, not destroy, Live for This from Hatebreed. So we wanted to get ones that that were going to be crowd favorites, but also the song that's going to match up with your band. You
Yeah.
know, something that's going to work out. Well, let me
Well,
get
I tell you what, man.
yeah.
While we're in the middle of this segment, I want to throw it out to you.
Okay.
I'm going to try to stump you.
Okay.
It's Integrity or Killamora?
Oh wow, dude, you're wrong for that. You're wrong. Oh my goodness, bro.
No, you don't got to pick. You don't
You
got to
know,
pick.
it's when I think about it, both bands had such a change in lineup, but at the same time, it was in Integrity, it was always me, Eddie and Fidel, and
Yeah.
in Cora, it was always me, Izzy and Fidel. So the common factors right there in both bands was always me and Fidel, and then we had a badass songwriter, whether it was Eddie or whether it was Izzy. The other guys kind of came and went, and even our bro like Jeff De Leon spent
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And um, I'm not gonna answer it. You said I could.
You don't got to answer.
All right, save that one for the book, or maybe we. I've had Hector on here before. He goes, you know what? We're gonna fucking set up a podcast where we interview you, and
Yeah.
be one that I'm gonna have to answer on that one. That's a good one, Trey. Two more choices I got for us.
All right.
This is the first one. I got Danzig versus Typo Negative.
Man, that's another tough one because both of them are good in their own ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you really pin me down on it, I would have to say, just coming from the perspective of my vocals and influences, then it's going to be Danzig. It's
Yes.
got to be Danzig, dude.
When you
Yeah.
started out with that, with your vocals and influence, I was like, yeah, I think he's gonna go D. Danzig was
Yeah. We used to cover Mother with Stone Groove, man,
thought so. Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah.
And I've always wanted to do like a Halloween show where I just get you guys together and just do Danzig songs all night.
Fuck
I would
yes.
love to do it. I just never been able to do it, but I want to do it one of these days.
Yeah. That's there's a Danzig tribute that's been down there, played over at Gators before.
Uh-huh.
Trying to think of the guy's name, but he also does a Misfits tribute as well. I think
Okay.
Misfits I'm trying to, we are 128. And
Okay.
the guy's got a great Danzig voice, bro. God, he's so freaking
Yeah.
good. Yeah, dude. So if you ever get a chance to see him, check them out. But yeah, dude, damn it, Danzig was hugely influential in our scene. When we started picking up with Misfits, and then when he did the Sam Hain, and then when he busted out with his own, was pretty much he was ready to share himself with the world.
Yeah, man. Those first 4 albums, dude, I just wanted to be like Danzig, man. I idolized that guy so much.
And only because I like to keep the show lighthearted. You did see the video where homeboy.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The Northside Kings.
What band did he play for? The singer?
Northside Kings.
Northside Kings. That's right.
Yeah. He laid him out.
Danzig was being
you can't act like that.
He was being a prick, and
you can't act like that, man.
Yeah, man, I got the utmost respect for Danzig, but god damn it, man, it sucked to see your hero, go down.
It sure did.
And
I was like, I don't want to see that, but then I was like,
I don't want to see
he deserved it.
I saw it twice. I saw it the first time. Oh, shit. Okay. Enough. Okay, so I got another one for you. This is the last one. And
all right.
This is the cream of the crop. So let's talk about Metallica versus Pantera.
Well, that could go a lot of ways.
Right.
But
yes.
it really could, because I want to say that Phil had more of an influence on me as a vocalist, but I would never be where I am without Metallica.
Uh-huh.
Metallica is probably the band that just changed everything for me. It stopped me from just listening to the pop crap that I was listening to, and it turned my world around. So, out of respect, I have to go for Metallica.
All right. What was the first Metallica album you heard?
Man, I came in late. I came on Master of Puppets.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I used to do my homework in the room, and this is back before Z95 was the radio station that it is now. When it played rock, but it was like Def Leppard or whatever. It was light rock. Christ of Madonna too. Yeah. But I used to have that on when I do my homework. And one night, I don't even know why, dude. And it was late because I was probably almost midnight. And I said, I'm just gonna change the station. I changed the station and I put on C101. And for some reason, they were playing Master of Puppets. And I say for some reason because they never played it again. Right. They played it, but they had it like the midnight snack or whatever they had, a weird looking album, some weird album they played. And I caught it in the middle. Okay. And my world changed. Wow. I had to find out what that band was, and everything from then on was focused around Metallica. I used to think there's been a day that's gone by this year that I haven't heard Metallica at least once. I was listening to Metallica every day. It was my band. And then from there, I would just go read their thanks list, and I'd find bands from there, and I'd go read that and find all these bands. That's how I found all the bands, because there was nobody in town to show me bands, and no older brothers or anybody that was into that. So I just had to find everything.
I know what you mean, and it's like Cliff Misfit shirt. When you see them, you're like, "Hey, what band is that?" If
exactly
likes them, they gotta be good. And then
if they're in thanks list, I checked them out.
Yeah, James is wearing a Sam Hain shirt on the tour. You're like, oh, well, who's fuck Sam Hain? And everybody knows about Danzig. Next thing you know, that's what I liked about that era back then, is that they would wear each other's shirts. Now he's in metal, everybody just wears black. There's no promotions. They don't want to get tagged that they're a particular genre or anything like that. It's just black. And I see it. It looks good. Everybody's uniform. But I still like to be able to throw props to the bands that I like.
Yeah, for sure.
I just kind of like that. So, it's funny because the last couple of times I've been in Hobby Lobby, I go to the t-shirts spot because I'm just looking for a black shirt. But my wife's looking for something. And if she doesn't get what she wants, then I'm just not going to buy my black shirt. So I haven't bought the plain black shirts yet. I've got about 500 design shirts. One black shirt, And,
yeah.
Do you collect your shirts? I know.
Oh, I've got too many shirts.
I figured.
Too many.
Yeah. Oh shit, man. Well, that rock and roll flea market. If you ever want to go out there and be a vendor, it would be fun, to clear out your closet.
Man, and I'd love to go out there and check out the stuff. I want to go to the one. It's on the 8th, right? Coming up.
Coming up on the 8th, and
I saw Rock put it up there.
Yes. Yeah. I'm actually going to be going to Yellowstone National Park that week. I'm going to be going.
Nice.
2nd through the 9th, man. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I want to check out the mountains and see if I can see the super volcano right over there.
Yeah, enjoy it before it blows.
but
before that volcano blows up, like they say it's gonna blow up one day, right?
Reminds me of 2012, dude. That scene with Woody Harrelson over there, man. It's so beautiful. Dude, what an explosion, dude. But I'm looking forward to that trip. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. I've never been there.
Oh yeah, man, me neither. It's just one of those. We did Colorado a few years back, and it's been my favorite.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, really. We drove up to Pikes Peak, and I drove through the Rocky Mountains, and ended up going to the Grand Canyon on that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man, it was totally a National Lampoon's Vacation trip. So that's one for the books right there, dude. But
yeah, for sure, man.
I'm looking for another one like that this time around. Because it's I'm glad I didn't have any hair because I'd be pulling it out. We were forgetting
I remember when you had long hair.
Hours and holy smoke.
You used to have some long hair.
Yeah, dude, I used to.
Yeah, dude.
It's funny because some people would be like, man, I can't even imagine you with hair. And it's like, what do you think? I was born like this? But yeah, dude, those are good times. Those are good times, man, when I used to have hair. God,
yeah, man.
So Metallica versus Pantera, we're going
Metallica. It's gotta be Metallica.
Hey, Hetfield and the boys, man. I'm just so blessed that we're all so blessed that the guys are still kicking ass and doing it. They're they're the role model for guys like us in our generation, where we grew up listening to them and wanted to start a band because we saw guys like them, regular Joe.
That was the whole reason that everything started.
Yeah, in a van, long hair, short hair, whatever. It wasn't about anything else but just putting your fucking own music out there. And I think that's something that me and you have in common, that we're creators, we're producers, and we love to entertain with a great band behind us. Man, there's nothing that can stop us. It feels like being on top of the world.
Yeah, I love it, man. And it's funny because like they'll ask me at church to read a scripture or something, or sometimes I have to lead songs. And I get nervous because I'm just by myself up there. But when I'm in the band, and it's different, like in that format, and I got a cold beer in my hand, and well, it used to be a smoking bar, but it's not smoking anymore. But that vibe, and you just get up there and let it loose, man.
Right. I can't wait till you get the cover thing going on, man. I think you're gonna have a blast. I
want to, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, dude. And I wish I could do something with you, but there's only room for one singer in a cover band.
I
know. Whenever you come out and you ever happen to be at a Fistful of Metal show, you're coming up on stage and singing with me, brother. I know that for sure. All right.
I'd love to, man.
I'm going to be there. Or if you want to be at the next one, just know that I'm going to call you up there.
I'd love to, man. I'd definitely love to do something like that, man.
Yeah, dude. And
it's been a while since I've done some good metal.
Yes, bro. I'll come and show you. Say, hey, here's what we're doing. Pick something out. And then
right on, man.
All right. Whatever you're comfortable with, boom. That way you can go out there and just kill it. Because I know my comfort level, whenever I'm doing songs, I got to know the song. Pretty fucking good. I don't like to read the lyrics. off of anything whenever I'm performing. I
Oh,
think
for
if
sure.
I can learn the guitar parts without having to do it, I can learn the fucking lyrics without having to do it. You know,
Hmm.
and that's and it's not easy, bro. You look at your bands like Rage Against the Machine, and that Zach will write a novel, and with
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
and those are big shoes to fill. But when you jam like with Steve and Joey, man, I they've made me the better singer that I am today because they are so awesome that I
Oh
just
yeah.
they bring out the best in me. And
And they're good.
yeah, they're so damn good, man. Steve plays with his eyes closed, and Joey's got a good 5 years of just jamming experience and know-how in playing in bands and doing the bass that, you know, it's hard to be matched. And I tell you, man, having us do the Harbor City All Stars is always my biggest thrill of the year. And I'm glad we got the date. I got us a keyboard player this year.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, things didn't work out last year with Roa. His schedule just kind of conflicted, and whenever we were getting together for rehearsals, so I did see a guy that plays for a band called the Young Classics. I don't know if you've heard
Okay.
of them,
No,
but
I haven't heard.
they've been making a little stir. They're stirring up some noise. They're playing in Mesquite Street, played at Brewster's already. But I caught them last weekend or weekend before last over at the House of Rock for the Rock and Roll Flea Market. And these guys are between 17 and maybe 19. They've got a girl singer, and they're playing especially the girl songs like Heart, No Doubt. What else? There was another one that Joan Jett. Man,
Oh yeah.
perfect. But then she's taking on some big ones, like some Journey songs. But then the keyboard player doing the Journey songs, I was like, that dude's kicking ass.
Yeah.
And he's headbanging and stuff going. I'm like, oh, this is
Hey.
what I need. And so I met his parents because while I'm watching the guy set up, the parents are all setting up around me, and I'm like, are you parents of the band? Oh yeah, that's my son. Oh, okay, cool. He also plays keyboard, bass, and guitar. And so I was just blown away by really all the musicianship of these young guys, and throwing a shout out to some other badass young musicians. The Outrage is
Oh yeah.
they're fucking kicking ass. I caught them.
Hey, it's so good to see them taking off like that.
I know, right? Golly, it's great to see the Gutierrez family tree living on the tradition, and
Yes.
the whole band really just comes out. And I plan to see them this Saturday. They're going to be playing with Centipede and Knife Party, and I think it's Naked and no, Learn to Swim. It's a Tool tribute. They're going to be over at Riches this weekend, and so that should be something cool to check out. Out
Yeah.
in
I mean, it's good to have parents that support you like that, and you see it, in bands like the Outrage, that have that parental support. Man, I never had that.
we never had, dude. Really, dude. And that's why I told the parents, I said, man, their kids are so blessed to have the support of you guys here. They're all wearing their shirts, and they just
Yeah.
the equipment's top of the line, and
Yeah.
good. The kids deserve the great gear because they're that fucking good, and they're real modest. I met them after they had their break, and that's when I introduced myself to Nomar, the their bass, the keyboard player I'm talking about, and he was fucking excited, dude. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm in, count me in. And so you'll get a chance to meet him. But
Awesome.
I appreciate all the time and the love that you've not only put in today with our podcast, but the time you've already spent with me in the several years that we've done the benefit, Trey. And me picking out those guys that we have in the band for the Harbor City All Stars was a hard choice, but easy in respects to the guys that I knew were just that I knew had good hearts, dude. And you were one that I knew I wanted to have because of the diversity of your vocals, but because your energy and because you've always been super cool with me, and everybody
Thanks, man.
go around, and you have that aura about you where, hey man, everybody loves you, brother, and that's just you're a natural, and so that's why I needed to bring you into the band, and having you right beside me, man, it makes it so much fun. Makes it so much fun singing these songs. It just
Oh, it's one of my favorite things of the year. I never thought that singing Christmas songs would be so fun and be such a positive thing for me. But it really is one of the things that I look forward to all year long.
yes. And then we have our family come out there and they check us out doing that, and they're having a good time seeing Dad
Yeah.
sing his ass off.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to all the Harbor City All Stars and shout out
Oh,
to
yeah.
Classic Actions, man. The Guterres brothers, everybody over at Chacho's, everybody in Drastic Actions, and to
Yep.
all you guys in the book, man. You guys are lifers, man. Thanks for fucking rocking Corpus Christi. What are we looking at now? Over 2 decades?
Yeah. I think this year is 25 years.
25 years. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
25 years.
You're gonna need to set up a show with Casey where you do like a 25th anniversary, picking out some.
Should, man.
That would be a great
Do
idea.
something like that. I can't even believe it's been 25. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, it is 25.
After doing, you're like, wow, dude.
Hey, but time goes by fast, man.
It has. And it goes by too fast. You know what? We're blessed, and we've been making some right choices. We've been trying to behave ourselves and take care of our body.
Oh, yeah.
It's not too late. I know I beat up my body. You've done the same, but it's not too late, man. Let's be good to ourselves, and so that way we can be out there to just see our kids have their kids. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure. I can tell you, I remember being at the age to where I thought if I wasn't in a band by the time I was 17, that'd be too old. You know, and now here I am in my 50s, and I'm still trying, man.
That's right. Still grinding and still wondering, like, hey, what else can I get going here? What else?
Yeah.
Part of
But I remember my grandparents were in their 50s. I thought they were old.
And we're there, but we don't feel so. Maybe
No, I don't feel old, man.
You know
I
what
feel
I mean?
good.
I don't, man. And it's I think it's rock and roll, man. Rock and roll, heavy metal. It's our lifestyle. Definitely keeps us young. Definitely keeps us young.
It does, man. And I can tell you, I've got a lot of friends from high school that are probably much more financially well off than me, but I wouldn't change any of what I've done for that.
Yeah.
You know, the life that I've lived and the because the bands mean so much to me, like as a fan, and to be able to see the shows and play with the bands, and that means more to me than anything that anyone else has done.
I love hearing that, man, because I feel the same way, man. I'm proud of being the weekend warrior that I am. I'm proud that I didn't that I was always here at night for my family. You know what I mean? And just and I'm just proud that I had a blessed to have a supportive wife that supported me when I actually had 6 bands going at one time, and I was not here at home. But she knew how much I was in love with being a singer and trying to, do as much as I can. And bless her heart for tolerating me, because now I would never do that again.
I've always admired her for that, man. She's done a good job sticking by you.
I'm telling you.
When you're in it, you're in it. And
yeah,
like I tell my wife knows. She knows what she married.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, man, and bless her heart. And we're better guys because they've been here by our side, man. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure, man. It's hard to find a good one, and when you do, you got to hang on to it.
You better. That's right. You better hang on. Be like a queen, man, and she will. She'll always be.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, let me go ahead and let you go, man. I had a great time talking with you, going over your history and, talking about some of our favorite bands and stuff, bro. How can people keep up with you on social media, for instance?
Well, the book has their own page on Facebook, and then you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm there. I don't post a lot, but every now and then I'll dump some pictures on there, a little update, what's going on.
Good. So friends out there, the Tony Gomez Show, make sure you're checking out the book. Go give them a like and keep up with their page, and give Trey Garcia a like also on his Facebook, and make sure you're out there if you're going to be in the San Antonio area. And what day in July?
July 15th.
July 15th. And what's the venue?
Man, I can't remember. They changed the venue. I cannot remember what the venue is, but just look up the Anti-Heroes show on Facebook, and it'll be there.
And it'll come up. Anti-Heroes, man. I came across them when I was digging deep into some of the other bands that kind of came up when I looked up the Booked Radio on Spotify. And,
okay.
Man, they don't fucking play around. That's gonna be a
no. Not at all. That's what I'm saying. We don't know if that show's gonna it's gonna be a great show or it's gonna be a riot. I know. We don't know.
Anything can happen. So just be ready for some intensity. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So July 15th up there in San Antonio, check out the book. They're going to be with the Anti-Heroes. Go to either the Anti-Heroes page or go to the book Facebook page, and they'll let you know exactly where that's going to be happening at. Also, catch me and Trey at the end of the year. We're going to be getting together at the House of Rock on Saturday, December 23rd. Save that date, you guys, all right? And
Yeah.
we're going to be putting on a fantastic show this year, Tony's Twisted Christmas Spectacular. We're going to actually be adding another group. We've already got 3. We're going to add another group with another drummer, another guitar player, and the whole shebang. So
Awesome, man.
the more work for us, but it's not going to be a labor of love. You know what I mean?
That'd be great.
Awesome. So, Trey, thanks a lot for being my guest today on the show. Have a fantastic weekend, and let's keep in touch. And
All right.
guys, appreciate y'all watching the show today. And when this comes out on Spotify, I'm also going to add some of the books material to it, so you can really get a good package of everything
right.
I already got in there and have a great audio listen to go along with this. So, Trey, thanks a lot for being my host, man. I love you, brother.
Hey, love you too, man. Appreciate it.
Guys, thanks a lot for watching the show. Keep up the grind, and I'll see you at the next one.
See you.